And I am having birthday scaries, especially like let me tell you, these last few weeks I have been going insane. Let your faith be bigger than your fear always. And we have a pity party for ourselves sometimes when things don't work out. Do something, get up and do it. You can't rely on a handout and you can't rely on somebody to come and do it for you. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Anna Unscripted. Today might just be my second to last episode before we wrap season 1, which is insane. I figured I'm gonna do something a little interesting for this episode. And if you did not know, I am actually going to be 29. Very depressing to think about, and I am having birthday scaries, especially like let me tell you, these last few weeks I have been going insane just thinking about it and like all the expectations that comes with being 29. If you know, you know. And I actually, when it comes to my birthday, I like literally spaz out and spiral because I feel like every year something always ruins it. So this year, and I kind of touched on it in my story, I have like zero expectations. Because if you have zero expectations, like you genuinely can't be disappointed. Like that's where I have reached. And I am celebrating my birthday, but when you are seeing this episode, that's when I'll be celebrating my birthday. It's not on my actual birthday. My birthday is literally the following week. But I was just like, just in case, you know, something goes wrong, it wouldn't actually be my birthday. You know, like that was my way of thinking. And I know it's slightly very bad to think like that. But just in case, just so I could be a little bit at ease. So anyways, this episode I am going to do, and I always do this like when I reflect back on my birthday, before my birthday approaches, I always do like 20 things I learned in like before turning 20, like things like that. So this time I'm going to do something different. This is so hard to do, but I tried to reflect on 29 things that really stood out to me, especially like in the last 2 years. And I was like, let me get 29 things. And I was like reflecting on this for the last 2 weeks. And I was like, I need to film this episode now because I am literally going to keep changing points because every day like something else comes to mind. And I'm like, this point is actually better than the other point. So let me just do this episode now and give you guys 29 things that I have learned before turning 29. And it's honestly so interesting. Maybe I should play this number because I'm seeing 29 things that I learned before being 29. This episode comes out on the 29th and I'm celebrating my birthday on the 29th. I think we should all go play 29 today. So anyways, let's just jump right into it. You all are not literally hearing my neighbor blasting music right now. So annoying. But anyways. So the first point, live tomorrow like it's your last day and to the fullest. I stand by this 100% because I just feel like sometimes we take each day for granted and we don't know if tomorrow is ever promised. When I got diagnosed with lupus, that really changed the perspective for me because I always had to worry about like today I might have a good day, but tomorrow unexpectedly like I might have a bad day. It literally happened this week. I was so fine for the weekend. I just maxed myself out, pushed myself out until like the Monday night. I was just so sick to the point where I was like, I think I have to go to the hospital. And did I even expect that to happen? No. You know, and it just happened like within a few seconds of me like being completely fine to just having a stomach ache to just like feeling like I was dying and it was the end of the world. And I think that was just like a little reminder for me at that point, like tomorrow really isn't promised. You don't know what tomorrow could look like. So if you could do something today, if you could really enjoy this moment right now, like do it because you never know. And it also goes with the people around you. Like you'll be spending time with them today and you don't know if they're going to be there tomorrow. So just like never take those things for granted because you don't know if the last time you see somebody, that might actually be the last time you see them. The second point is believe in yourself and you're almost there. My grandpa always used to say this, and this is something I always tell like my friends, my family. I always remind myself this, even like when I had exams, or like even now, like when I'm doing stuff. It's just something that always stuck to me, and it honestly means that if you just believe in yourself, like that's so much that you really need to just reach where you are, and then everything else falls into place. But you could do a million things. You could sit and write that exam, you could start a job, you could start like, going into a relationship or just anything. And if you really just don't believe in yourself and think that you could really achieve this goal, or you could really be successful, you're already setting up yourself basically to fail, Okay, the third one: learn to say no when you genuinely can't do something or fit it in your schedule, and know that it's okay. This is something I struggle with, and I still genuinely to this day struggle with this. But, I'm working on it. We're not perfect. But just sometimes just know that it's okay to say, no, you can't do this, or no, you can't fit this into your schedule. You're busy, or you're just not feeling to do it today. Like, it's okay. If somebody messages to go live and you're genuinely not feeling to do it, it's okay to say, hey, nah, like, I'm gonna have to set this one out. Or somebody asks you to squeeze something into your work schedule, or clients, and you genuinely can't fit it, and if you do it, you're really going to be maxing yourself out. Learn to say no. And that also takes me into my fourth point, which is set boundaries. This is so important. Again, by just saying a simple no, is setting a boundary there, because then people know they can't take you for granted, they can't take advantage of you. But also just setting boundaries in general when it comes to relationships, friendships. Again, this is something I really genuinely struggle with, especially when it comes to friendships. I don't know how to set boundaries, and I just genuinely let people like say whatever they feel like saying to me, or doing whatever they feel like doing. And I just never had that boundary. Therapy genuinely helped me set that boundary. And this is why like I am so, like when it comes to like relationships and stuff, like I let people know like, hey, let me know what your boundary is, because I don't want to ever feel like I'm overstepping. And I think that's so important, because as you get older, boundaries are there in place when it comes to your children, your relationships, your friendships, family. Like boundaries are literally key. And also, you can't expect people to know your boundaries if you don't speak up and say, hey, if you do XYZ, or if you say XYZ to me, or if you're like trying to have a say in my relationship, or like my friendships, or like how I should live my life, like you're crossing a boundary there, So yeah. Number 5, fall down 7, get up on 8. I learned this lesson at a very young age, at literally the age of 13, that it's okay to sometimes try numerous times and fall down, but it's up to you. You could fall down constantly. The Kardashians are living proof of this. Like I was listening to another podcast the other day, and I was so amazed by how many businesses they actually started and just like fail at it, but they just never stop. They just continue to keep going. And there are so many other celebrities we could talk about, or like people that we genuinely know around us, that a lot of times they did something and it wasn't successful, and nobody's saying you can't sulk. Like it's all fine to sulk, but after the sulking, like give yourself at least 2 days to sulk if you want to sulk, but know that you need to get back up and find a new plan. Or you could just keep staying down and thinking that everybody's against you, the world is against you, it's the end of the world, and never really get successful. So it's up to you to really decide if you're going to fall down and get back up and try again. And again and again and again until something works and sticks. Number 6, disappointment is redirection. Another thing that I have recently learned, and I mean like, we all get disappointed, right? But I think like my perspective has changed a lot, that when you are disappointed when it comes to a job or anything, could be literally anything, it's sometimes really just for you to just pause and say like, where is this directing me? Like, what is my next step? I think this point just literally hits the nail on the head. I don't really have to like explain it, because it's literally disappointment is redirection. Which leads me to point 7, which is doors that are meant to close, leave them closed. If it's meant to be, it will always be. And I say this again. Sometimes we often have a closed door, and we force this door to constantly remain open because we think that this door is what's meant for us. We think that we are supposed to go in this door, this door has a particular lifestyle or particular thing that we really want. And honestly, that door is not meant for us. And we constantly force this door to remain open. And just think of it as like this door that is like trying to close us out, because we're not meant to go into this room, and we keep trying to push into this door. And before you know it, every time this door closes in, because we're not meant to be there, we get hurt. So we squeeze our finger, we squeeze our toe, and we just constantly get trapped by this door because we're not meant to be there. But the minute you just say, okay, I'm not meant to be here, I'm not meant to be in this job, in this friendship, in this career, I'm not supposed to have this job, like anything, and we let that door close, you come to realize that another door opens. And life is so much better behind that door. And it all really just took, and sometimes you're just like, oh gosh, like really? Like it took me 2 years to finally get this thing or to do this thing. And then you're like, when you really sit down and reflect on the situation, you're like, actually, I kept forcing this door to remain open when I had already gotten my lesson a long time. If I had only really let that door close, I would have already been here. It wouldn't have taken me 3 years or 2 years or a year to even get to this point. So sometimes we just really need to let that door close. There's a better life behind another door. And number 8, people are seasonal. I always say this, and more like I have seen it again in therapy. I was talking about it the other day, and I think this goes for everything. I always genuinely struggle with thinking that the people that were in my life when I was younger, that they should still be in my life now, or that like people should always be in my life and like they should never leave. But when I like learned that no, people are actually seasonal, like they're here for a moment to really just teach you a lesson. Like yeah, some people stay really long. Like I have friendships from since like I was young, but then I had friendships that came in my life for a short period and it was amazing, it was great. But then like we just grew apart, or you know, we just, our goals and our just aspirations weren't aligned anymore. I struggle with the fact of just letting go of that friendship, because I just felt like, okay, maybe I'm like supposed to still maintain this friendship. I don't know, like I feel bad. But then when I recently like discovered that, hey, no, like it's okay. I've had friendships where I met people like a few years ago by like a small little interaction, and before you know it, like now like we're really really good friends. I'm like, okay, people are seasonal, they come into your life when you really need them. Some people stick throughout, but then some people go. It made me also realize not to get too attached to people and situations, because again, that is also very temporary. 9, don't have FOMO. If you know what FOMO is, it's actually fear of missing out. It's okay if you miss out on a Limo event. I was telling my therapist this the other day, and he gave me this analogy. Like that therapy session actually was so good, and I told him like, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna repeat this. But like, you know, he was telling me about a story about like, you know, him and his friends, and when they would Lime, you know, they would really enjoy it to the fullest. But if you miss out on that Lime, you would know what you really miss out on. So it's okay if you miss out on a party, or you miss out on a Lime, or you miss out on an event. Like it's fine if you genuinely can't go or you can't do it because your body's just so exhausted. But just know that when you actually do go to an event or you do go to a Lime, that you are gonna enjoy it to your fullest. And just know that the ones that you miss out on, you're not gonna know what you really miss out on. You're not meant to be there. And that takes me to point 10. Learn when you need to rest and listen to your body, because you can't pour from an empty glass. And this is so true, because very often we think that we could do it all, and we could help this friend, and we could work 8 to 5, and then we could come on and take care of our kids and be there for our spouse and be there for a family member. And then just so much, we just keep pouring from this glass so that we are empty, and we still think that we could still pour into ourselves at the end of the day. But no, you can't, because you're empty. You're running on zero. That battery is like dead. So learn when your body is telling you need to slow down and you can't do everything. And again, it brings me back to saying no and setting boundaries, that you really listen to your body. Because if you don't take care of yourself, you genuinely can't take care of the people around you. And that takes me to point 11. Don't stay in places where you aren't happy, and don't allow people to fit you into a box. And this is so important because very often we get trapped into situations or like careers where we feel that we are being stuffed into this box and we want to achieve so much, but this box is keeping us down, or the people around us are keeping us down. I just don't stay in those places. I have done that before. And the minute that I stepped out of that box and stopped feeling so stifled, I literally started to see myself like just spike in my career and spike in all my dreams and accomplish everything. But the moment that you really stay in that box and you allow people to pull you down, you start to feel stifled. So don't do it. Number 12, the brain toast theory. If you don't know about this, it literally means, I'm going to try to summarize it, that when you make breakfast in the morning and you burn your toast, it kind of delays every other thing for your day, right? Because you'll have to go back and make a new toast and you're going to run late. It goes for anything. Like if you are supposed to be at a place for 3 o'clock, but you get stuck in traffic or you ran late at home because you're like out the door on time, but then you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot my shoes or I forgot this. Burn toast theory literally means that it's saving you from something bad that is supposed to happen, or you're just not supposed to be there at given time. And numerous times I see it where, I was supposed to leave earlier for work, or I was supposed to, I got stuck in traffic and like I see an accident happen, like right, like once just literally happened to us. Like we ran so late and like literally in front of us an accident took place. And we were like, that could have been us a few seconds if we decided to run on time. So brain trust theory things are saving you from something bad that's supposed to happen, and it's fine. Also, it kind of teaches you that when you do run late or like when something doesn't work out exactly how it's supposed to, you're like, it's saving me. It kind of like helps you not sweat the small stuff. Number 13, it's your life and no one else's, so do what makes you happy and live for you. I think that really just says it there. I don't really have to go into detail. Number 14, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, so let them talk and say whatever about you. Their opinions don't define who you are at the end of the day. And this also goes for cyberbullies, because I always tell myself that I know I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Not everybody is going to like my content or like my voice or like what I talk about. But at the end of the day, there is somebody that's going to enjoy my cup of tea, and it's totally fine and it's okay, because not everybody is going to like you and it's supposed to like you. Let people actions show where you stand in their life. Again, very simple, straight to the point. The minute you stop actually just going for words and listening to what they say, and you actually genuinely see their actions, you come to realize where you really stand in people's life. Oh, I actually really love 16. You're the one that has to live with your significant other and no one else. Let me tell you, this is so important because I have come to realize that a lot of people have opinions about other people's significant others. And some people just genuinely can't stand somebody's significant other. And it's different to people giving advice or like looking on and saying certain things. But then there are the people that just say like stupid, silly things like, I don't think this person compliments you because they're not good enough, or comment on like appearances and jobs and things like that. And then you come to realize that, okay, well, this type of information is not really going to help me. At the end of the day, it's you that has to live with your significant other. It's you that has to go to bed at night with this person, build a life with this person. This person has to be there to support you in the hardest of times. And if you are okay with that person being there and that person supporting you through the good, and not only just the good but the bad, because life could be really bad sometimes, then guess what? Nobody else's opinions matter, because it's you with that person at the end of the day. Literally nobody else. Number 17, have high standards, and it's either they meet you there or not. Simple, sweet, but straight to the point. 18, book that trip and treat yourself. I literally struggle with this so much because sometimes I am just like, I could book this trip and I could go out, but then I'm just also like, you know what, I could save this money and I could spend that money on like a bill or like something else, for somebody else. But last year I really like reflected and I was like, no, I'm gonna book the trip, money's gonna come and go, And, you know, well, money's gonna come and go is actually point 19, so I guess I'll combine those two. So just enjoy making memories and doing what you really want to do, because you don't want to reach later on in life where you have all these other responsibilities and you're like looking back and you're like, oh, I should have gone on that Disney trip, or I should have really gone to that island when I had the money and I had the chance to do it. But savings are important for rainy days, and this is so important to note, because a lot of people struggle with no savings. Savings are so important, so even if it means literally setting up a little savings, like an insurance or anything in your credit union, this is so important. Something that you don't touch. It could just be a simple $100 a month that you save, or maybe $1,000. In the long run, your future self is going to thank you, whether it be your children later on, because life is so unpredictable. You don't know what can happen, and you're going to need that money. So just out of your salary, out of your allowance, I mean, no matter where you are in life, you could be young, get an allowance from your parents. Just put that money aside, because one day you're gonna need that money, you know? So just save. It's important. Learn to ask for help. And this is point 21, this is something I generally struggle with. Learning to ask for help in anything, whether it be your mental health, whether it be financially, whether it be in your job when you have like so many tasks. Just genuinely learn to ask for help. Number 22, everyone should go to therapy. I preach this. I feel like I'm a broken record on therapy. Again, therapy doesn't mean you are crazy and you need mental health. Sometimes therapy just means that you need to talk to someone, an unbiased person, to help you sort through all these emotions and thoughts in your head. I mean, the other day, like, I literally booked a therapy session just to ramble, so my therapist could just help me sort through like all the emotions in my head, because it was just so overwhelming. I thought like I was going to burst a blood vessel, because sometimes life could just feel so overwhelming. There could just be so much things happening, and you just need someone to sit and talk to. So therapy is so important. I always tell myself, when I do have kids, once they are of age, I'm going to let them speak to a therapist, because this could help them so much. Because sometimes people just genuinely struggle with opening up to people and talking to someone, like even their peers around them, and they eventually bottle up all this emotion that one day they just explode. So think of a pipe being filled with so much pressure, and when you finally open it, it just bursts. I don't ever want to have my kids reach that point. I don't ever want to reach that point. So just talking to someone is so important. I've been in therapy for like 3 years, and sometimes I go a lot, because sometimes I just really need help with a certain situation. But then sometimes it's just really maintenance, and it's so important because I do see a change. So I'm a huge advocate for it, and I genuinely think that, you know, therapy is important. So please go talk to a therapist. There's so many therapists out there. I could link mine down here for you. Number 23, it's in my email sign off. It's everywhere. It's in my WhatsApp status. One day I might even tattoo it somewhere, and it's let your faith be bigger than your fear always. This is so important, because so often we have so much fear that we are so scared of something not working out. But once you have faith and you really trust in God, and you trust that if something is meant for you, it will work out, your fear literally disappears. I mean, the Bible literally said, you know, have faith as much as a grain as a mustard seed. A mustard seed is small, but it has such big growth potential that he wants you to have that bit much more faith than fear, and you would see like so many things working out. So again, faith over fear always. 24, it leads me into prayer. Helps so much. Pray for anything you want. Huge advocate for this. I mean, the simplest things, just pray and ask God, and once it's meant for you, it's gonna work out. Sometimes we might pray and want something, but he might have a bigger, better plan for you. And honestly, like, I would literally say this, like, I am not where I am today if it wasn't for prayer. Sometimes I would just be losing my mind, and I would literally just be like, God, like, just help me. Like, there's just so much happening. Like, I feel so overwhelmed. I don't even know where to start praying. Like, just help me. You know, so it's just a simple thing like that. Prayer is important. Number 25, my therapist told me this the other day and I said, yep, I'm going to talk about this. And it's not everybody is going to be happy. You aren't who they want you to be, and that's okay. Again, people are not going to be happy for you. They are, and that's just the reality. And sometimes it's the closest people around you, and they're not going to be happy with who you are. And they are going to think that they want you to be somebody else, and it's fine. It's okay. You are you. And this goes for anything in your life, whether it's you're in a job, in a relationship, whatever. People are not happy for you. Like, it's fine. It's okay. It's going to be okay. You just keep being you always. They'll lost at the end of the day if they want to stick around or not. Number 26, no one is going to save you but you, so get up and chase your dreams. It's only a dream unless you really genuinely work for it. So very often we sit down and we have a pity party for ourselves sometimes when things don't work out, or we just think that we could sit at home and this dream is going to happen. I was kind of like that with this podcast for years. I was just like, eventually podcast is going to happen. But I was sitting down there thinking that podcast wasn't happening, right? Because it was up to me. It was up to me to really make that move. I just kept saying, yeah, one day I'm going to have this podcast. I keep talking about this podcast and I really want to do this podcast. I keep saying, well, you know what? One day the podcast will happen. One day I'll start this podcast. But only until I actually took the effort to start the podcast happened. So it's up to us to really have a dream and work on it. Because until then, it's just going to remain a dream and we wouldn't know if it's going to work out or not, right? So you just sometimes need to make that move. You want to do something, get up and do it. You can't rely on a handout and you can't rely on somebody to come and do it for you, right? Because very often we say we have so many dreams, we don't really do anything for it. So you want to go to school to become a doctor? Well, get up and go to school and apply. Put the application in. If it works out, it's meant to be. If not, we're going to, disappointment is a redirection, so get up and do it. Stop waiting for people to do it for you. And you'll honestly be surprised that once you start doing it, you would see people that are also aligned with you and want the same things reaching out to you. Get like business partners, you have people interested in supporting you. But again, it will just not happen and it will just remain a dream if you don't get up and do something about it. 27. There's more to life than partying and drinking it away. I said what I had to say. There's literally more to life than just partying and drinking it away. There is so much that this life has to offer than every day just going and liming and drinking and partying. There is literally nature out there. There is so much adventure you could do. Going to the beach, kayaking, ATVing. Like, there is so much more to life. And honestly, once you start living that life, going on that hike, switching off your phone, turning down drinking and liming till whatever time in the morning and waking up early and going for a run and a hike, or going for breakfast with your friends, or just spending time with family, going outdoors, you will come to realize that there really is more to life than just that. Nobody's saying that, and nothing is wrong with that. Great, once in a while, but doing it every single day, eventually you start to feel so sick and tired. Like, I always tell myself, after I lime and I party, I'm like, it's so great in the moment, but the next day I wake up feeling so tired, so sick. I just lay in bed and rot in bed, and I'm like, how do people do this every day? Like, I am missing out on my whole entire day, my whole entire life. So learn to find a balance, balance it up a bit. Stop making excuses. This is also linked back to 26.26. Stop making excuses for yourself. Literally. We often make so much excuses that a simple thing like we want to work out. But every day we make that excuse, or tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I just do my hair. Oh gosh. Stop making the excuses and just do the thing that you want to do. 29. Last one. Most important. Put yourself first. It's kind of repetitive to some of the other points, but put yourself first is so important. Do the things that make you happy and stop living for everybody else. I was guilty of this. I was literally guilty of this. Sometimes I'm still slightly guilty of this, where I constantly feel like I need to live for everybody else. I need to make everybody else around me happy, to a point where I am so unhappy. But the moment that I recently just stopped living for everybody else, and I just like forget everybody else, I live in for me and me alone. I doing what makes me happy. So if filming this podcast makes me happy, and if nobody like it, okay, cool, no problem. It's making me happy, so I'm going to do it. If one person watch it, perfect. If a million people watch it, even better. But it's making me happy. If me being in this job is making me happy and nobody else happy for it, because they probably think I'm working too much long hours and I always working, okay, it's making me happy. Why is that affecting you? If me being with somebody is not making you happy, okay, it's making me happy. So do the thing that makes you happy. You wanna color your hair purple? Go do it. It's making you happy. Stop living for other people. Because at the end of the day, it's your life and your life only. And you don't want to reach 60 years old or 70 or 80 or 90 and you're looking back and thinking, you know, when I was like 28, I genuinely wasn't happy because I was trying to people please so much and ensure everybody around me was happy, that I was so unhappy. And let me tell you, I was like that last year. I was literally like, I had reached my peak of being so unhappy in every single aspect of my life. There was literally no aspect in my life where I was happy. And I was like, this has to change. This has to change because no part of my life was making me happy. Like, this is my life. Do I want this for the rest of my life? No. So live for you. Make yourself happy. That brings me to all my points for 29. I mean, there's still so much that I could talk about that I learned. But I think like those were the most important that I thought like I should share with you all. And I hope it touched at least one person and it really got you to like think. Stop making excuses for yourself. And honestly, I don't know what my last episode, I have an idea in my head about how my last episode for this season is gonna be. But just in case I don't get to sit down and talk with y'all to wrap that episode up, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that tuned in and made season 1 possible. The guests that I had on here, the feedback, the viewers, just everyone. Season 1 was so successful and it opened so many doors for me that I genuinely can't wait to be back for season 2. So this is not goodbye, but this is see you later, see you soon. I'm already starting to plan season 2, so hopefully, fingers crossed, it goes exactly or even better than I am planning and expecting it to be. But, you know, thank y'all for making season 1 successful. It was honestly just a trial, and I enjoyed every part of it. The feedback has just been amazing, and I look forward to seeing y'all in season 2, and hopefully y'all can catch up, share this podcast with friends, be like, you know, we tuned in season 1, like y'all should catch up for season 2 because it's gonna be bigger and better. But just thank you all so much for making this possible, and I really hope y'all enjoy it. So, you know, feedback is welcome. Let me know what y'all want to see in season 2, and I'm gonna get the ball rolling on season 2. So yeah, thank you all so much. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget to view us on Spotify, follow us on Spotify, follow us on Instagram as well, and stay tuned for many more. So thank you guys so much, and I will see y'all in my last episode. Bye!